In this video, I would like to talk about the Filipino trait of jealousy. I mean, there's an incident right now happening on the bottom of the hill, a love triangle that the husband killed the paramour of the wife. So it's just recently happened, so that's what makes me wants to discuss this topic about the Filipinos' extreme jealousy, because the Filipino, once they get married, they want to stick with their wife for better and for worse. I have already mentioned this thing before, but it is, once you get married, it's also an honor to the husband. Now, if it happens that the husband or the wife had an affair, it will not only bring shame to the wife or the other spouse, but also he will be mocked. The wife or the husband will be mocked by the neighbors, by the family. That's why extreme measures like that, what happened today, that the husband shot the paramour of his wife. Because if someone married and the other spouse is having an affair, we have a saying here that your wife is dumping S on your head, and the people will see that there must be something wrong with you for the wife or the other spouse to look for some greener fields. Like they like their sayings over here, to look for greener fields. That's why he's dumping that S on your head. And if the husband don't have to, nothing happened, just allow it. They call it allow it, because there is actually S on his head. He's useless, and that's why the wife or the other husband look for someone else. Although the educated people now understood that it's not something wrong with the spouse, it's actually the cheating spouse got something wrong. But the old traditional way, it is, they are very extremely possessive. Once Filipinos are married, the husband and the wife tends to be possessive of their spouses. So an affair sometimes end up with tragedy, because it's not only the family of the spouses is like the actual husband and wife, but that family as well will get involved with it, because they themselves, if they are the family of the one that's cheating, they are the ones gonna get embarrassed, because people mock around here, like, oh, look at your cousin there, the slut, like that. I mean, they get mocked. And so even the family will take, some of them will take extreme measures, to be honest. Like, there are happenings here. They feel sorry for the husband. They are the one who's beating up their relatives, their actual girl that they're related to them, because the husband is quite good to them. So she was beaten up by her own relatives because she's the one who's playing with fire. And that's another trait of the Filipino. They're very possessive of their partners and very jealous. Although, like I said, it has mellowed now due to the modern times, due to education, that it's not the case like that, but a lot are still practicing the same thing. So an affair within the Philippines sometimes end in tragedy. And you know that we don't have divorce here. The people tends to just separate. And like I said, it depends upon the agreement of the spouses. But some spouse cannot accept that. It will end up in tragedy, like I said. That's what happened today. There's a big news around the neighborhood that somewhere around here in the bottom about a love triangle that was discovered by the husband, and it ended up in tragedy. And that's why you gotta be careful. And also, that's another thing that you need to be proud of, because when you marry a Filipina, he or she, a Filipino, I mean, he or she will be very possessive of you, because he wants or she wants you to be his partner forever. I told Old B when we get married, that I'm the possessive type. And he told me, possess me all you want. I mean, I just told him that that's me. I mean, I want my stuff to myself, my things to myself. And if you're the one who makes me happy, I don't want to share it with other else. And so that's another thing that you need to accept in the Filipino culture. The spouses tends to be very jealous and possessive. So either you use it to your advantage, or you just live with it and then make sure that it don't flare up. But you know your wife in the long run, that if she is the possessive type, if she's not the violent type, well, it's up to you. But like I said, what if the family will take over? Instead of your spouse getting back at you, you will be complacent that the wife is just okay with it, and the family is now taking the it will be evening it with you. So that's one thing you gotta be careful, because like a close family ties in the Philippines also entails that some family members will buy off the problem of one family member. And that's one extreme that already sometimes you hear it, but sometimes don't. But it is happening, that the family members will take side. Maybe to one story that the husband is very good, that they are taking side against their own relatives. But what if it's against someone else, like the other spouse? So that's one thing that you need to be careful of. The Filipinos are quite possessive and quite jealous of their own partners.